Yes, you're still watching the Friday edition of New Dawn with Tunde Olaniro and Hakeem Hakitunde. Of course, you know that, well, we had the Electoral Amendment Bill recently, as assented to by President Muhammadu Buhari. We also know that the major political parties are actually preparing, gearing up for 2023. Conventions have been planned and postponed, but eventually it will hold, no doubt about it. And we are counting down to 2023. It doesn't really matter what is happening. But we hope that we'll have a kind of free and fair 2023 elections. But people will tell you that to have a kind of free and fair elections, there must also be something democratic within the political party. That is, intra-party politics should be clean and transparent. Is this so with the political parties? How do we achieve this? And of course, how can the workings in these political parties actually affect the conduct of the 2023 elections? That's what we are looking at. That's why we are coming with this topic, intra-party politics ahead of 2023 elections. We have a politician in-house. We're supposed to have two, but we thank God that we have one in-house, and he is a former member of the Ogun State House of Assembly, Honorable Fasiu Bakene. You're welcome to the program, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for your answer too.
Yes, let's start. What is for the sake of education, how important is this internal politicking in political parties? How important is it to the entire political system in the country?
Well, thank you very much. And once again, good morning, viewers. It's so much important that there should be internal arrangements of political parties. And let me, like you have said, for purpose of education, let me start by saying political parties emanate from association, of people coming together as enjoyed in Section 40 of Nigerian Constitution, freedom of association, that can be in terms of political party and all those things. From there, it graduated to Section 221 of Nigerian's Constitution, which now says if you form an association under Section 40, it can be traders association, it can be union and all those things. But for it to be political party, it must equally be an association that is canvassing for votes from people. Unlike if you say Nigerian Union of Journalists, when they want to contest within themselves, they don't seek for national votes. But if you are looking for national votes and people that will represent a section of the community or whatever, then it has to be political party. And that's why Section 221 is talking about political party registration. And it means you have graduated from Section 40 to Section 221 of Nigerian Constitution, which now gives power to association to be registered as political party. Now, if you move forward, Section 225 of that Constitution equally enjoins political party to have their own structure, to have their own objective, to have their own manifesto, the way they want to be governed. And this is where the problem now comes. The problem will now come from who takes what, who gets what. But like I've said, it is ideal for political party to have their own structure, to have their own plan, to have their own arrangement, so that that can be translated or transformed to the society, to the entire society. It is whatever they do within their own caucus, within their own political party, that will transform. They will say, okay, this is our political party. For us to have an elected officer or member of House of Assembly or president or governor or National Assembly members, these are the criteria you must pass. Apart from Nigerian Constitution that has said, okay, these are the qualifications. the party must equally bring their own qualification, their own eligibility. Well, okay, you are not eligible to contest, you are eligible. Like the party, the constitution did not say spend 2 years as a political party member. But the party constitution and the guidelines of the party will dictate that.
Okay.
All right, but you are aware that most of the political parties, especially the frontline political parties, right, I use that word, are having some tussles, let me use that, for who becomes what within their party structure. Is it the fact that some people are not following the laid down constitution of those parties, or because there are interests, or because they want to re-engineer? What can we put our hands on and say, okay, this back and forth in these parties is because of this?
Let me just add, it's close to what he has just asked. How democratic, how transparent has been internal democracy in these political parties? How democratic, how transparent? Or is it what people are saying, that most of these parties have been hijacked by the godfathers?
Well, thank you very much. Realistically, if every party member, leaders or followers adhere to the guideline, the rules of their respective party, there won't be crisis. It's either the followers are not prepared to follow the guidelines, the rules, or the leaders, like he has said, wanted to hijack for their own personal benefit. If at the end of the day, or if ab initio, the interest of the party solely lies within party members, there won't be crisis. Because for every party there has been a guideline that this is what you have to do before you get this. You need to go and kill. That's why I introduced the issue of consensus and all those things. That's where maybe what you term as godfather can come in. There can be consensus. Because what the young party members or the new party members did not see, the elderly ones, the experienced ones, they have seen it. Like somebody coming in, wanted to contest for National Assembly seat, and he has his money. There are some leaders who now say, no, even though you have your money, people don't know you within your community. And the basic thing is that whoever wants to win an election, you as a person, as a candidate that is coming in, you must be able to have at least 20% or 30% vote on your own, not relying on party members to work for you alone. You want to contest for House of Assembly in your constituency, they don't know you, just 2 months to the election, you fly in from London or from America, and people will vote for you. No, at times it doesn't work. But let me say that any party, now as leaders, any party that didn't follow the rules, the guidelines, the result is there. Or the result has always been there for us. The result has always been there. When you have a peaceful agreement, this is what you have to do, this is what you shouldn't do, and you feel, okay, you have your money, you can bulldoze people. Fine, bulldoze them. The public are waiting for you. So the electorate, who are the voters, they are equally watching.
What is party supremacy, and when does it come in?
Yes, party supremacy is to say that, even let me say that, just one person, can be the supreme being of the party. If his position in that way, that you are the leader, give us the directive, and that they say that is party supremacy, or decision of leaders, the executives can be party supremacy. Because
we've seen situations where somebody will overwhelmingly win the primary, somebody will be overwhelmingly supported. It doesn't really matter whether, that is how to test his popularity. Yeah. Whatever he has used to gain the popularity might not be our own interest, but yet we had a situation where they will say, it's not yet your turn. Allow, and they foster a very unpopular candidate on the people, on the party. Is that party supremacy? Is that not the negative side of intra-party politics that we're talking about?
No, that cannot be party supremacy. If party laid down the rules of the election and somebody emerged as winner, that should be the party supremacy. Because he did not vote, he did not contest the election using his own guideline. It is the party's guideline that he uses. So if he now wins, whoever be the leader that has interest somewhere, and that interest has not been known to other people or has not been exhausted in such a way, or maneuver in such a way as to have his own candidate, then he has to forget it. What I'm saying, like what I said, we go into a contest. When we get to that contest, Mr. A wins. Whereas the leaders, they want Mr. B, then they have lost it. They have lost it, so they cannot come back and impose Mr. B.
In your okay, today, please.
As a politician,
go ahead. Yeah.
I want to know. I want you to shed more light on what should be the role of the leaders of the party, especially when we have erring members.
Yeah.
Their political status notwithstanding. What should be the role of those leaders?
Well, when you have erring members that are adamant in carrying out their own idea and not that of the party, then the party, as leaders, first of all, interface, make appeal, a passionate appeal. This is what you have to do. Don't go this way, go this way. But where such person insists, in most cases, going to court, it's an aberration. The two foremost political parties we have in Nigeria today, bad members from going to court or taking their issues to court, because there are a lot of political system that they can pass through. If you are aggrieved from what? Report to the local government level. If you are aggrieved in local government, go to state. From state, go to your southwest, what region are the zonal. Go to zonal level to appeal. If they cannot satisfy you, go to national. And of course, before you pass through those three lines, you must have been convinced that what they are saying is right or wrong. So there are many ways, but what you get this time around is that because there is human rights, everybody wants to get to court. And like, those that, I'm sorry, I have to put in Yoruba.
Right.
Those who are saying, fight on, because the quote and unquote, means, they want to regembe.
What is the role of the judiciary now? What should, because almost all the political parties have cases in courts of intra-party issues. Now, what should be the role of the judiciary in settling this and making things right?
Well, honestly speaking, for the last 3 years, political party had suffered so much in the hands of the judiciary, negatively. But the last 3 years, if you watch the judiciary, even at their slightest opportunity, maybe at their conferences, meetings, they come up and give stern warning, instructions, orders on both the lawyers, the bench, and the bar, that they must be upright in handling political issues. Because you see politicians just rushing to court for rights they don't have. Because I see some, we don't have right to go against the party, but they will go to court. and be claiming right that is not there. And so the judiciary that is supposed to protect us anyway, when I say, okay, they give ex parte injunction. Ex parte injunction. So, and you have the CJ in most states or whatever, even the CJ has given order that don't just give an ex parte injunction on political matters because it affects the movement. And once they go, you will see that in the last 3 years, the thing has reduced. Take, for example, in the case of PDP, this Amadou Sherifu and PDP, it took almost 2 years. There are things that are not supposed to even come to the table of a judge. The things that have been thrown out. In the electoral law, there's one thing there that says state congresses to determine who becomes the flag bearer of that party must be held at the state capital. During this time of Amadou Sherif or this our own former chairman, national chairman, they pick Jimo Ibrahim in Kwara, somewhere in Kwara, and the election is in Ekiti. They ran to Kwara to do the Congress. And somebody said that is the normal. How can it be the normal something? It is not.
Signals from these political parties. When we talk about political parties, we don't have to beat about the bush. We are talking about APC. We are talking about PDP. Yes. Signals from these two major political parties is not showing or are not showing the fact that there won't be some little crisis ahead of 2023. And of course, INEC will also stick to their own timetable, so to say. For example, there have been issues of convention, it has been postponed, it has been restated, it has been postponed for both parties. And of course, it's like we are not seeing the light yet. Maybe by the end of the tunnel, we'll see, and all this will have a blight or will have a kind of influence on how credible the 2023 elections will be. And you just talked about court and no court again. Now, what is the situation in the PDP that we belong to right now?
Well, of course, we had the successful convention, you know that. Where we pick Aisha as our national president, and all other national officers fall in. At the state level, we don't have a problem. The issue is resolved everywhere, nearly all the states. So, the problem that we're having is no tolerance, no endurance from people again. If it is not your turn today, it will be your turn tomorrow. And if you are looking for A position and you don't get it, since you are received within family, you can get B position. It's automatic. At times, that's why when you are seeking for admission in a higher institution, they give you a point to have the second choice or option B. You want to do accountancy, and they tell you, okay, fine, although you have all the requirements, but you cannot do it because there are people that pass even better than you. You are carrying C6, 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 C5. Somebody is carrying A1, 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 A2, A3. They can take that one, then they give you option. Can you go for business admin? And if you feel, take your business admin, finish your business admin. After doing business admin, even while running the business admin, go and do accountancy private, go and do account. Before you know it, you secure your account and somebody with a BS accounting. But that is not what we are seeing in political line in most cases these days. People just want to be adamant. I want to have this. I want to be governor. I want to be governor. Anything short governor, I destroy it. So that's the problem. The other party, look, as at this morning now, the news is that in APC, they have over 200 or 125 cases still unattended to. Just like sometimes when PDP was in problem, we had over 50 cases. During this Amadou Sherifu, something I talked about the other time. Presently in APC, you see it. Why should in a state where you have a governor, it is known that the governor is the leader. I want to do Congress, and the national will have given you instruction. This Congress is holding at Seminary Hall, Abeokuta. I'm just using that example, or Itoro Hall, Ijebode, or Orono Hall, Ilaru. and because you think you have might, instead of going to Runo Hall to do the convention or the state congress, you go to Ebeokuta College or Yuwa College, as it's now being called, you know, to do your own congress. It means you are defying the order of the national. And the constitution of the party has given power to national.
And it's supreme.
And it's supreme. Even though you have the might, the weight, go there, go and contest. The worst case scenario, they beat you or you'll be defeated. Go and kill, see your party. Put the interest of your party first and not your own personal interest. It's not compulsory that all of us must take this thing at the same time. People, I'm sorry, I'm not overpraising. Sometimes in 2003, in PDP here, there has been an arrangement. Honorable Soros will become the speaker. Within that, the thing changed. But my joy is that the person they pick is from a local government. We have to move together. The local government has to move. And we are in the party. What about 100,000 of people outside who wanted to become a House of Assembly member and they were not allowed? In my party, there are about 5 people contesting that contested for House of Assembly election. At the primary level, I emerged. Is that not enough? Are we not in the party together? We come back to build the party.
Now, another tough one that may, let's go to the recently assented to bill by the President Muhammadu Buhari. That is the Electoral Amendment Bill now. Yeah. And of course, where politicians, there are some gray areas. Don't forget that even the president, though the court have said it's a law and nobody should touch it, even the president actually appealed to National Assembly members to look at that area where they said before you can take part in any election, either primary or general election, you cannot continue to operate as a political appointee. You have to resign, queue, fight for nomination here and there. What do you see to this?
Well, I'm happy that the amendment something was thrown away by the National Assembly. I'm just happy. Because look at it from different angles. We have seen a situation where the governor or the president uses his own appointee to embarrass the state governor, uses their own appointee to embarrass the ministers and all those things. Just an appointee. The man says, okay, if you want to contest, you want to go for executive position, resign your appointment and come back to contest. But what do we find out? They will sit down there as an appointee, the chief law officer of Nigeria, because you are the Attorney General. You want to go and contest somewhere as governor. You use that influence to erode others. Because there's no way you go. The fear of more president negotiate touch. The best bail will run away. And they know by the time they field you, even if you are going to score 0, or if, when you score 0, the other best hands must have been thrown back, must have been thrown away because of that influence.
What is that likely to achieve as we continue to move towards different primaries of these political parties?
No, it's for whoever has interest in contesting the election and you are still a political appointee.
Because even to become a delegate, you have to resign. That's what the rule. That's what.
Of course, you don't have.
And go to your ward and begin to fight for.
If you check political parties, I don't know of APC, but in PDP, the guidelines is there. If you want to become somebody or elected position, there are guidelines, part of which you must face the Congress. In facing the Congress, there are people that are eligible to vote for you. If your name is not there, because you are a sitting political appointee, you will want to influence yourself in there.
But these guidelines, Honorable Bakene, was, has been there before, where it was clearly stated that all political appointees are automatic members of what? Automatic delegates when it comes to convention or elective convention.
No, not all. That is part of what they want to correct. Imagine we are going for national convention. National convention, that is what happened before. They will say, because you are the governor, you are eligible to have additional 25 delegates to be appointed among your commissioners and other appointees. Whereas politicians, don't forget that even most of these appointees, we don't know them. People don't know them. A governor appointing 13 commissioners. Out of the 13, only 3 are indigenous. The remaining 10 were flown in from America, London, Canada, US, because they can speak good grammar, because they can write a good proposal. You think they are better? They are not better off. They don't know the situation. Whereas those of us that have been, going around with the party, to get a delegate in your ward is tug of war. To get national delegate in your local government is tug of war. And somebody will just sit down and say, I'm the Attorney General of Nigeria, I must be given automatic delegate. For where? Go and struggle for it. You know, my brother, you know that most of these appointees are not party member, are not card carrying member. They are not.
It's when they get appointed
when they get there,
that they now
the day they want to screen them, they will now go and look for party cards. They are friends of the executive. Maybe in London, they met in London. Maybe they met in I won't say BBHS. Maybe they could also have met in our anyway, you know that. So, maybe they met in secondary school. They are my classmates in secondary school. And so, what do I give him? Come and serve as commissioner for finance. And so be it. The only thing they will do that, okay, go to your ward. We will sub the ground for you. You get to what they call the ward chairman. Somebody is coming, go and make sure that you give him card. The person will just go and get card, and the person will now go and say, I belong to Ward 4 in Ikene. And when you get to Ward 4, ask him where Ward 4 is in Ikene.
And so many people have risen like that from appointment and so and so. They now weaver through the influence of the executive. They now get a political position. They now get the party's nomination, and eventually they are voted for.
They are voted for. That's why we say, okay, go and fight the thing right from the root. If you want to be national delegate, if you want to be state delegate, go back to your local government. Resign. Go to local government. Go and struggle for it. Let us see how you have influenced the situation in local government. Let us see what you have brought back to your... Most of them, they don't go to war. They don't have... you know them. My brother, you know commissioners here. They don't know their ward. They don't go there. Whereas, all these Soros, don't call it, they are not allowed to get this delegate. And guess what? Whoever gets delegates a national delegate position, rise up from there.
All right, let's look at most of these political parties, especially the frontline ones that have sitting governors in states, have their governors as the leader of the party in those states, and which gives great power and influence to the governors to determine who are in the leadership of the party in the states. Now, how good or otherwise is these decisions? How good or otherwise is it that the parties have given them so much influence, and how to your own conscience, how well have they used this influence?
Well, honestly speaking, what we are witnessing now is executive power trying to emerge the political power and political leadership. What do I mean is that before they get there as the governor, you will see them prostrating, begging, appealing to these party leaders. Give me your vote, work for us, work for... Immediately they get there, the red biro dictates another thing. But then let me say, not all of them. There are others that are still listening to party leaders, to the state chairman in their request. But what I can say is that the ability of the state chairman or local government chairman to stand firm. If they are able to do that, stand firm. When I say stand firm, yeah, they have to stand firm and say, this is what we want. In my local government, go and do this. Please, we need this. Give this one appointment. Do this one for this. I think the governors should be able to reason along that line. Like I said, the two frontline party, there is nobody, no executive that doesn't have his own necessities. But I remember when we were there in 2003, in my local government, the local government chairman, Mr. Sarago, just compiled lists of about 20 people, gave it to the governor, and said these people must be given appointment. Of course, the governor did it during that first term. It was so. But when we started going up, you can understand, something changed. But even the successful government that followed us, that came after us, it wasn't even like that. There are people that complain that they cannot reach
Mr. Governor.
Mr. Governor is not communicating with them. There are still people that are complaining this time. That is not good. It is not fair. The governors must be able to last with the party. You cannot say you have it all. When you have it all, you will seek for the assistance in getting to position.
Yeah, all right. Okay. Let me just ask this.
Okay, go ahead.
Because we see this, what we call the Soros generation.
Okay.
And they are trying to take over everywhere. And even in the political space, they still want to, have their way and have, they feel that the old ones are not doing it too well. It's something we need to do as young people to take over. Now, what do you have to say to those young politicians? They are all in all the parties. They want to do things. They want to, seize power in the party. This is the way we want it to be done. We forget about the way you guys have been doing it. It's old school. How do you, as an experienced politician, how do you advise?
Well, the young ones should just come up. Let them come up. Let them observe very well before they say they are going in, because this is not the first time we are having young ones in elective positions and in party system. Yet they put in their best, but as far as I'm concerned, the old and the young must relate together, must work together to achieve success. The young one cannot say the old one should go and die. Where is that experience? They have. Somebody just coming from secondary school or university. It's even better if such person is a union member in university, maybe one of the SUG member. We can say he has acquired experience. Or one of the association union members. We can say he has acquired experience. But somebody, because there is no job, that's what is bringing them in. And they want to sit down, hey, now I want to go to House of Assembly. The man get to House of Assembly, just see that they don't do anything. We see it now. That's why the thing is here.
They always say hi or nay.
Yeah, even that is when they are around. That is when they are around. You see empty seat in the green house. A green bed at Abuja. You see empty seat there. You now ask, where are these 270-something people that have been sent from different federal constituencies? Where are they here? Only when they want to present budget or even crucial issues, you don't see them. And yet they said, we are young and we are Soros, okay. It's our time. No. See the old ones. And I'm not trying to see the old ones in the National Assembly. All this, when Aminu was there, this APC man who has served as a petroleum minister before, that old man, they are always there. And when you see those that are really doing the job, they are doing it. For every legislative house, within the first 6 months, you will see the first 11. within the first 6 months, you will see the first 11. They are the one that will be standing up. Mr. Speaker, we want this. And so, when the representative you say, the young ones that are still running after dollar and pound sterling, they are not ready to, how would they be able to convince the executive that their roles is bad or they need the ecological fund? And before you know it, they will start fighting the governor again, back home.
Let us look at a section of the amendment bill that actually said parties have the right to choose between direct and indirect primaries.
Yeah.
What's the thought of your party on that? Because we're also seeing that even with the direct primaries, that does not mean that things cannot be turned around. We had direct primaries in one state recently, that were insinuations. We had direct primaries before, and of course we saw the number of people that voted for whoever they want to vote for, and when the election proper came, we couldn't even get half of that in the entire state. But basically, how do you see this section?
As far as I'm concerned, I don't believe in direct primary. Because like we have said now, is fictitious and is room to embezzle. And I'll give you an example. For state, let us even confine ourselves to state level. State Congress, you say direct primary. That's where you mobilize card-carrying members. For somebody that wants to be dubious, it's easier. I will tell you at Abeokuta South, card-carrying members here for that election is 3,000 members.
For a certain political party.
Yeah.
Okay. Like for PDP now, 3,000.
Yeah. No, PDP don't use a direct primary. We don't use.
We are looking at that example. We say carry-carrying members for a certain political party in Abeokuta South.
Yes. Okay. For party A.
For party A. Let's say party A.
Okay. 3,000.
Okay.
They go to Ipokia. They said party members there 2,000.
Okay.
Add the figure. That's 5,000. But somebody that wants to be mischievous will now just say, okay, that's 5,000. They'll be watching from maybe Ikene and declare Ikene that party congresses and party carry member there in direct something is 10,000. We say no. Because there's nothing to determine who are these members. No full, no standardized register.
That's what I'm going to say, and that is bad.
No standardized register to say, okay, yes, this one, because each and every day we want members to come in.
And you cannot say they are not coming in.
You cannot seal them. Oh, this is the sealing. No, there's no sealing. Free entry, free exit. I've told you, Section 40 enjoins them to have association. Register them in Section 221. So there's no sealing. So but nobody can just sit down and be watching. Okay, I can declare. And that's why you have that fraudulent figure declaring somebody that has 35,000 votes during primary through direct. At the end of the day, in the general election, the man did not score 5,000. There are other 35,000 members that you claim that the man has gotten. Are you saying the 30,000 members don't have PPC to go and vote for their candidate? But if it is like what PDP is doing, indirect, we know the number of delegates that has to come in. It can't be more. The chairman of political party, the former honorable members, former National Assembly members, former president, former these 3 delegates, 3 ad hoc delegates from the world. You know, in any House of Rep election in Abeokuta South, for PDP, the delegates cannot be more than 420.
There are also insinuations that most acclaimed political party members don't have PVC. And of course, political leaders don't actually do enough assignment to actually ascertain their relevance. What they need them for is just for the primaries. And of course, when it now comes to the real election, they are nowhere to be found. And of course, they will be dominating the primaries too because of what they want to benefit. How do you react to this? That most political party members that we are talking about, even the 3,000 that you will say we have that is authentic, if we have them, most of them don't have PVCs.
Well, exactly, because it shows, that's part of what I've just said, that if a candidate of a party claims to have 35,000 votes from members, and at the general election, he can only garner 5,000 votes, where are that 30,000? Does it mean that they don't have a PVC? That's the question. But like I said, let me say, these days, I don't know of APC, but I know in my party, even right now, we've been making sure that people go there, register, get their PVC. You know, even at every ward meeting, yesterday was my own ward meeting, when you sit down, if you have your PVC, raise it up. If you don't have it, get out. Go and get it before you attend this meeting. Even yesterday, in my own ward. So we have compelled it. We have made it a compulsory item that you have to bring to the meeting. Let us see, so that you don't just come here and take like this and just leave. When it comes to rice sharing, you take it. When it comes to all this coconut sharing, you take it. But when it comes to real thing, why we need you, go and vote for your party. We must be able to have that confidence that yes, with 30,000 members, even if it's only 3,000 that will not be present, if I can garner 27,000 votes.
You agree with me that defection has been part of our political system.
Yeah.
And of course, just like you said right now, no matter how thorny such a person has been before, once he's coming to your party, no matter how bad it is, he becomes a new bride. Now, where I'm going is this. The judgment recently in Ebonyi State, where a court sacked the governor and his deputy for actually taking another party's votes to actually defect to another party. That is the first time we'll be having such in Nigeria. And if it stands, because it's likely to still get to the appeal court and the Supreme Court, what if it stands, it will become a landmark. And what is this likely to have? What effect is this likely to have on our politicians generally, especially when it comes to winning an election and, of course, defecting to another party?
Well, thank you very much. I think, personally, I want to seriously appreciate that judge. I want to appreciate him, honestly. Because that is just a way of correcting the wrong things that are done by PDP or done by APC. PDP has done that before. They left the party. Governors, they went to another party, to APC, carrying our banner, our mandate to another party.
It has also happened so many times at the National Assembly.
Yes.
They will just move from, and they will announce there, and they will go to the other end.
Even the presiding officer knows that what they are doing is wrong. But because it will benefit his party, they are easily welcome. So in this one, it will only, how do I put it? The moral decadency exhibited by these chief executives will reduce. And it may not just reduce, it will vanish. We don't know where this one will end. I know they will fight up to the Supreme Court. Let the man continue to argue. You see that the first day, he attacked the judge. That governor, he attacked that judge, seriously. But when NBA gave another, no, go reverse yourself. They say he's sorry and all those things. But he had now gone to file a stay of execution and at the same time went to appeal court. Let's see what the appeal will say. But it's the best thing in our polity. If you have mandate of party C, vote for party C. Wait till that 4 years before you leave.
Now, if you leave, you leave the mandate.
Or you leave and drop the mandate. If you are not satisfied with what you are getting as a governor, chief executive, It's ridiculous. It's sad. Honestly. I can't imagine myself, even as a honorable member, leave my party. Look, when we were in the house, 2003, there's only one person among us that happened to be AD. Wasiu Abbas. Wasiu Abbas was the only AD. He didn't say because he's the only one. There are some of us that even joke with him in the house. There was no, there is no minority here. You better be part of it. I said, no, I am AD, I am AD. And we went together for that 4 years. Rather than drop your mandate, and I don't know why you should have to do that as a chief executive, as governor. Whereas people voted for you. They voted for that party. Not him. If it is him, like I keep on telling people in my own constituency, I said, the votes that brought me to the House of Assembly is not 6. But I mean, myself, my wife, and my children. That's 6 votes. I know it's not 6. I know it's more than 6. Many people must have voted. A lot of people have worked for me to get to House of Assembly. Those that I know and those that I didn't know. You know, but if you now have the mandate, people voted for PDP in that area. And you now say no, for one thing or the other. Of course, there was no crisis. You just left and moved to the other party. What about those that have worked for you? You now throw it away. I want to bore me and of the other party that don't have presence. No, it's not fair. And I think this should be a lesson to all those that still want to do that.
It is often said that some people are advocating that we should have independent candidacy, though it's not in the Constitution. But I would like to know, what is your personal opinion about the independent candidacy thing? And secondly, they used to say that there is no personal, all you have is common interests when it comes to internal democracy.
Not permanent friend, no permanent enemy.
Yes, you have just permanent interests. Now, how do we make our political party system ideologically based rather than interest based? 2 questions in one.
Well, no permanent friends in politics. People have been saying it, and I equally agree that no permanent friends. Because your enemy today will become your friends tomorrow. Your enemy today might be your friends tomorrow. And that's it, vice versa. You are contesting for an election, you face somebody in party A, and you are from party B. If you win the election, and the person in party A waited for that 4 years to lapse, and now move to your party, then you become friends again. And of course, even during campaign, party A and party B, they are loggerhead. They throw banters to themselves. At the end of the day, since if your interest is to serve your community, nothing stops you from going to the winner and say, we need something new. Can you give us for my community? I'm not in APC, of course, but recently, when we need something, I move to people that are in government, that are in APC, especially in terms of roads. My community people want me to go and talk to them because you have been an honorable, go and talk to them. And it's so difficult for me to get to Engineer Hakim Additional Service and say, look, SC on road or whatever. We want this, we want that. That does not make me to change my base. I'm not coming to APC. But then I want things for my people. So there's no permanent enemy, no permanent friends, except personal interest. But when the personal interest is not limited to your personal pocket, it must be extended to what your community needs. I think that's the first leg. I don't know the second.
The independent candidacy.
Oh, independent candidacy, I don't know. No, it's already part of the amendment. but it carries a provision that may be difficult to get, that you must get the support of 20,000 people to vote for your eyes. That's more or less like not wanting independent candidacy. But that is good if it comes. But the problem they will face, because let me say that party, you better go along with the party than say you are an independent candidate. I say you want to waste your money, you want to spend your money before you gather people, human being, you will see it.
Even if you are good, some people will say if you don't go to the right party, because Nigerians still believe they don't even want to know the candidate.
Exactly.
People will tell you that about 40% of people that will vote don't want to know the candidate. This is the party they believe in. And of course, they go towards that direction.
Party Awolowo, party Obasanjo, party Teniko, it is the party. It is the party. You know, party, that's why they say party is supreme. Nobody knows you. When you are doing the election, it is not your photograph that is there. As we
go, confident that INEC good enough, strong enough to give us a free and fair election, especially having been given what they asked for, electronic transmission, blah, blah. How do you see INEC in the conduct of the coming 2023 elections? So confident that, yes, we'll get it right. I'm asking you.
Ceteris paribus. INEC is good. All things being equal. As far as I'm concerned, they are prepared. You know, if you see the way INEC equally agitated for speedy passage of that amendment, the constitution, so that it will not affect the assignment. They are up to the task. And I like the way INEC is coming up now. There is this, is it Director of Public Enlightenment, Okoye or something? He's always on national telly, you know, educating us, educating people how to go. And even INEC at our state level here, they have been encouraging a lot of people to come up, do the relaxation and all those, if there is any problem, so that they will be able to solve that problem. I think ours is to give them support and let them do it better. Ours as a party, because it is the party that creates problem in most cases. In most cases for INEC. INEC will attend one, what do we call it, Congress. They won't go to the other one. No. The other one, the fake Congress, will not even send list to INEC. They are doing it. Even see the last chairmanship election we did here. PDP had their own candidates. Just one of us just woke up and said no, either they are influenced or whatever, and went to OGTV and submit another name, and OGTV equally complied. So I don't know, but INEC is perfect.
Well, for that state, that should be OGTV. I'm not too sure that we are talking about the national election. You have given a vote of confidence and of course trust in the ability of INEC to do a thorough job. Well, we have done a thorough job here, at least to the best of our ability. We want to thank our guest, a former member of the Ogun State Assembly, and of course a politician, a PDP member in Ogun State, Honorable Fasiu Bakene, for coming on this topic, intra-party politics ahead of 2023 elections. Honorable Bakene, I want to thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Today, we have to go.
We have to go. So thank you so much for being part of New Dawn since 7:30 in the morning that we started, and I'm sure you enjoyed the program. Next week is another time with a pair of myself and Akim Akitunde, and I say for me, I say bye bye.
I'm waiting.
Bye for now. We'll see you up next Friday, God willing.
Thank you.